Welcome back to Tactics and Trends with the Bold. The world of champions has got you covered. It started earlier on today with the Masters. On Saturday, we move right along to Two Oceans Marathon. I've got two friends that are running in that marathon. Bongani, do you know anyone that is running there?
Yeah, I've also got a couple of friends that will be involved. I mean, they're super fit. They've been preparing for weeks and weeks, so look forward to seeing how they perform.
Let's switch focus back to the Nedbank Cup, where AmaZulu will be hosting Orlando Pirates. When you look in the last 5 games between the two teams in all competitions, it's 3 wins for Orlando Pirates, and the other 2 games were drawn. But when you look at AmaZulu, they might have a little bit of a problem. Brooks suspended. Orlando Pirates, Bongani calls it something else. CBC suspended. Koki suspended. Nda has got a hamstring. Bongani, what do you call what's happening at Pirates?
A little bit of a crisis, isn't it? Because to have all your centre-backs missing, you know, certainly your regular starters, and the only 2 available players are the players that only have 2 appearances each so far this season, a little bit nerve-wracking. But for AmaZulu's side, you know, Brooks, yes, with his energy, his attitude, he's always a plus for the team, but I think they have enough cover in that position.
Well, when you're looking at those players that are not available for the coaches, is this clash of the Spaniards, the clash of 2 Spanish head coaches in the DStv Prem. It's a history to be made in this quarterfinal. How is AmaZulu going to set up in terms of the formation, and how is Pirates going to set up?
Yeah, I mean, for AmaZulu, I think, you know, a lot of the time they'll sort of go with a 5-3-2 formation in terms of how they set up, but you know you'll get a back 3. I mean, that's your back 3 there at the back. Hanemoop loves getting forward. He managed 7 crosses in the last appearance, so you know that left foot is sweet and he's always ready to deliver a ball into dangerous areas where essentially you expect, yes, Mtetwa and Sesane, you know, the two sort of, can we call them half debutants? You know, in terms, I think this is their first start together. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare together within that position. But it's so important as well. Joost as well, a flying winger, you know, getting in that position. Latoile, as I mentioned, will always be sort of your 6-out area. Extian and Mbanjwa have that sort of number 10 role where I believe one of them should be joining in at some point in terms of adding numbers into the box.
When you look at then George Maluleke, for me, in the game that he came off the bench, I saw him come in and do exactly that, and be able to spread the passes in that midfield. Then Ben Mutwari is in that 6th role where his main job is to cover the wing backs in terms of what he does when they go forward. But something that is surprising and they're developing well at AmaZulu was Felix adding numerical advantage into that midfield at times. Yeah,
I mean, look, he certainly does have a license to get forward and add numbers sort of within the midfield areas, and that can be effective. Centre-back arriving late, but that poses a question. You know, what does Pirates do to sort of counter that? I mean, there'll be spaces available so for players like Hotto. Players like Hotto will love also bombing forward with wonderful pace. Joost might be getting caught out in these areas. It is very possible. Should he get caught out, you know Hotto will certainly drag this back 3 all across, and that causes all sorts of problems because you know Dlamini will be alongside the shoulder. If I bring Mofokeng there, just to add sort of like a triangle, a little bit of a 1-2, Masangani as well, he joins in, he'll probably be the 10, but don't forget Mabasa. Mabasa, always on that last
hat-trick in the previous game, must be high in confidence, Bongs.
Super high. I mean, you've moved halfway through the season from a previous club, Swallows, gone back to your parent club, and you've hit the ground running with goals. That's what you want to see from your lone players coming back home.
One thing that I want to ask you about is about Mtetwa. It's also about Sesane. Both very comfortable on the ball, Bongani. And one thing that I want to highlight is their ability, Mtetwa, to be able to find a pass into the likes of team, to be able to find that diagonal ball at times, to be able to find a Dionoto. That's something that maybe will be a surprise to AmaZulu because they don't know that Sesane and Mtetwa has got that in their arsenal. Pepe the same. You can find Makaula with the short one, but also the ability to find a Libito that can also add numerical advantage going forward for Orlando Pirates.
Yes, and that is a weapon, but I think, you know, that is a weapon that relies on confidence. Should they start the game well? Should they start confidently and get the first pass right? If you get the first diagonal, now you have the confidence to try a few more. But that's where AmaZulu, for me, if you see those 2 starting centre-backs, you have to put pressure on them. Get the ball, get it direct, put them under pressure, make them doubt themselves. That's the best way to sort of negate them having that confidence to spread those passes and get involved in the game.
I hear what you're saying, Bongani. For me, is the key battles then in the midfield. You've got Ben Mutwari that is playing against his former team in Orlando Pirates. You've got Makaula playing against his former team in AmaZulu. Who's winning that battle between the 2 sixes?
It'll be interesting to see because I'm pretty sure those two have come up against each other when the roles were reversed, and it was fiery, it was aggressive. Both players aren't players to pull out of 50-50 challenges, so that is a wonderful battle that we'll wait and see.
Now, I'm also looking at some of those key players. I'm looking at Hana Mobesi, you've mentioned. He adds numerical advantage going forward, but he's going to find a Libito. He's going to find a Dlamini that is trying to assist, but he's alone on that line. Then you find on the other side where Yoste is operating alone, but then you also have a Hoto that is adding and a Rile Mofokeng adding on. So who's winning the white battles, Bongani?
So tricky. But I think, you know, when you look at sort of Hoto, I think Hoto wins that one, because I really honestly believe that, you know, Hoto will always be on the front foot, and I think Uesta is a player that loves to gamble as well. So, but I think Hoto will certainly win that offensive battle getting forward.
I'm going to give Bongani Khumalo time to then go to the clips that he has selected to highlight what Amazulu can do to be able to hit Orlando Pirates, what Orlando Pirates can do with those dynamic midfielders, enterprising in that midfield. He says that's where the key is going to be. Bongs, what can Amazulu do to be able to hit Orlando Pirates?
Yeah, I mean, look, if I were to pull up sort of Dion and see what he can do, I think we've seen sort of his aerial ability and how good he is in the areas that he finds himself. I mean, this ball gets rotated in the midfield, and if you see, you got your two, as you mentioned, you got your two sort of sixes sort of linking up in sort of rotating the play.
When you're looking at the two players that you're speaking about, is the two players, it's Ben Mutswari, it's Maluleke. Brooks has been substituted in this moment, and we're anticipating that a Ben will start, a Maluleke would start. They're then looking to go the opposite side, change the point of attack, change rotation to the other side. What do they do after, Bongani?
Yeah, I mean, if you run this clip, they do exactly that. They manage to sort of turn possession. I mean, they bounce it wonderfully, you know, with each other. Find Felix on the other side, who joins in because he sees the space. The two sixes were way too close to each other. Felix being the extra man on the other side.
When you're looking at Hanamo, that wide area, is it half the problem done if you stop Hanamo from crossing the ball? What do Orlando Pirates needs to watch out for as you take me through the rest of the move?
Yes, you would think so. I mean, when we highlighted him there, in that position, he's not a threat. But once this ball gets into the final third, I mean, that is absolute danger. And that's where you need your two centre-backs in Teto and Sisano to be so switched on and make sure that they know exactly who they're picking and the spaces that they're in. If
you are the coach at Coach Pablo at Amazulu, what do you say to your strikers after looking at that lineup in Orlando Pirates and you see two appearances, what do you say to Dion? What do you say to Letswalo?
I'd love to see them play against them. Play against them, play a little bit more direct. Instead of going wide, always looking sort of for your wingers, start playing off the front. Play off the front, bully the centre-backs, make them doubt themselves. You lose some headers, you lose some tackles, and all of a sudden you start doubting yourself as a centre-back, and that's the upper hand that Amazulu can possibly get.
I'm sure wherever Coach Jose Rivero is sitting, he's saying, Bongani, they might not have much of the ball because of the midfielders that I have. I'm giving Bongani time to set up what Rile Mofokeng can do. Ball-playing centre-backs, one of them that you're going to see in the clip is not available. That is Toki, that is suspended. Bongani, how do Orlando Pirates build from the back?
Orlando Pirates, so effective. I mean, look, they spread. I mean, if you look at how wide they are, if I just pause it there for a sec, you know, ball with the centre-back, I mean, they get so wide and so split. You got your 1, 2, 3, 4 centre-backs. I mean, well, your defenders.
That is the back four.
That's the back four, yeah, that's the back four. Good spaces, good positions, and that's how they start the attacks. Move it forward. If I were to stop it there again, just for 1 second, I mean, that's Tim. You know, that's Tim, that's your other six that I just highlighted. If I highlight Tim there, he's made the forward run because he's the opposite six. You got the other six in there holding just in case things break down, and you got one defender driving.
Maturity in that center of the midfield.
Proper maturity. You know, you got players who make runs for their teammates. You got players who are sort of covering, and with that, I mean, look, this is played into a tight area, and it is absolutely phenomenal what happens next, because what's happened here is Mofokeng is literally waiting. He's waiting and waiting and waiting for this ball. If I just take it back there for 1 second, he's waiting and waiting for that ball. The right back here, if I pause for a sec, the right back, he's worried. He's literally worried about looking at the players in front of him. So the eyes have gone there,
Yeah.
And the eyes have not gone there to Mofokeng, which is a big, big danger.
But why is the eyes not gone there? There's something that you said to me when you were showing me this off air. You said Dlamini does a fantastic job. He doesn't touch the ball.
He does. He doesn't even touch the ball. If I highlight him there, if you look at what the run that he makes, he literally just peels off. You know, just attracting that attention does so much in terms of attracting a defender's eye. And no one sees that movement, that little movement where he just peels off.
2-3 steps back, yeah.
That's all you need. Don't stand still. Move, because defenders will react. And when they react, Mofokeng sees the space in behind. I mean, he's released. And let's be honest, what happens next? I mean, look at the keeper. The keeper's on the floor.
Yeah.
When is the last time we saw a player in the DStv Prem go past the goalkeeper? You cannot coach this. This young player is just unbelievable in terms of his talent, in terms of his ability, and just the way he spots danger whenever he's in these positions. I mean, it's a wonderful, wonderful player.
I think one thing that we need to go in depth in terms of, yes, Mofokeng is excellent in terms of taking on the goalkeeper, rounding him off, the composure, the maturity, but what about the pass that comes from Tito Maswanganyi? The weight, the direction of the pass also sends a message to Mofokeng to say, you're not going to the corner flag, you're going direct to goal.
It is honestly beautiful, and the way that he's done it, it's a bit of a reverse pass, because his body is sort of square with the line and just gets his foot around it. Again, that is deceptive for defenders, because it's easy for you to think he'll open his foot and play it to Dlamini, but he closes his foot with a little bit of a lob into the space. Good, top quality forward player.
You said to me, AmaZulu are going to play 5-2-3. Or 5-3-2, Orlando Pirates, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. That's the breakdown that you have given me. Key players in this game, you have highlighted the key battles. Give me a prediction. Who's proceeding through to the next round?
You know, with AmaZulu, you never really know what you're going to get, you know. And I think the club is desperate. The club, well, not desperate, but hungry for cup glory. So that makes it a challenge. I think Pirates should edge this one 2-1.
2-1?
Yeah.
Who's scoring the goals?
Mabasa, Mofokeng.
And the other side?
The other side, let's give Dion another go. Should be on the pitch.
Bongani Khumalo, I want to thank him really for coming through and giving us an excellent breakdown in terms of what is going to happen in this game. He has highlighted the formations, the key players. He says the man that scored a hat-trick in the previous game is going to get a goal, that is Mabasa. He says the form of the young Rile Mofokeng will continue in this game. His composure, his maturity is starting to show. He says Dion is an animal in and around the box. Against centre-backs that have only played 2 games each, he sees him getting a goal. That was tactics and trends with the ball. Rodibuwa ngamando rwabo sezerera ndizone.
There's a shot there, contact and another brilliant save. Winners of the M10H, the Mighty Buccaneers.